It's definitely on my top list for political and world building because it really did commit to making that kind of environment without going so in depth that they lost sight of the fact that this is a game. Because it is pretty easy to get lost in the weeds and make it so that it's too much, and it's a careful balance. You need to have enough, but not too much, and not too little. But the best part about it is that every single person's experience within the Crest system is different. You have Dorothea, who, because she doesn't have a crest and doesn't have a family, is constantly on the precipice of ruin once again. That's why she's always trying to find a stable partner to start her life with, because she knows as soon as she's useless to society, they will kick her to the curb. Ring any bells, American followers? You've got people like Ingrid and Mercedes, who are both considered mostly for their crest on a societal level, but because Ingrid's father and family is very supportive, she had a lot of different experience than Mercedes, whose father was something else. And Mercedes has the right to be upset and to hate the world, but instead she's found a beauty in it, a way that people flock together in hardship. And then you compare that to someone like Sylvain, who has also been reduced to his crest in a different sense, and he thinks that fleeting pleasure is the only one that actually exists, and everything else is essentially hollow, and he can't trust it because his brother hates him for having his crest, his parents love him for having his crest, but they don't actually love him as much as they love their crestless son, who they continued to keep in their house, even as he was trying to murder his little brother, Sylvain. And Miquelon himself is an example of the issue with crest systems. Like, because he didn't have a magic birthmark, he wasn't allowed to shoot his shot at being a leader. Which, I mean, I don't think he would have been like an amazing one, but he does have the capacity to lead. And they point this out both in Hopes and Houses. And I think that's really important, that he had the skills, he just didn't have the magic birthmark. And then you've got people like, Marianne, who thinks she's a monster because of her crest. And you even had little nods to things like the fact that Edelgard and Lysithea both have 2 crests. If you looked at their character profiles, at least when I did it, they might have put a patch up, you could see that they had 2 crests. They even put in details in support conversations about the way crests affect their lives outside of combat. One with Catherine and Lysithea, where one of their crests can make it rain as soon as they have to go outside. I mean, that's not fair. But it was a great attention to detail, just a little caveat of what it's like outside of its combat applications.